On.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's Monday night. Welcome to the home base call. And I am so happy to see so many smiling faces. Number one, it's cooler here in Texas, so we are happy. And so many of us are all going to be together in just a very short period of time for conference in Austin. And we're all looking forward to that. And tonight I'm excited because I'm going to talk about something that really kind of fires me up, and that's compensation. And compensation, guys, that's the good stuff. And I learned early on in this business that I'm kind of hardwired and motivated for two things: contribution and compensation. And when I came to that realization, I didn't even know that they absolutely both are so important in any aspect of business. But to tell you the truth, this was something that I learned when I was like 8 or 9 years old, that contribution and compensation work together. When I was 8, I was already asking my parents for extra money. And when I grew up, there was no such thing as an allowance, okay? So I was watching my brother, who's like 5 years older than me. He was like 12, he had a paper route. He had 80, 90 customers that he delivered to every single day. So I kind of knew that that was not something that I could do at 8. But guess what I found? I found a paper that I could deliver in my neighborhood 2 times a week, okay? I had 20 customers. And at 8 years old, I realized that I could increase my compensation because I was paid, I don't know, $3, $4 a month from this little company to deliver these newspapers, okay, that I could increase my compensation. You know how? By contributing and bringing value to these 20 people. So I got to know these people. I always made sure the newspaper was brought to their door. Sometimes I'd bring their mail in. I'd take their garbage out. And guess what happened at Christmas and holidays and at the end of the week? Tip money, tip money, tip money. So I learned at the age of 8 that if I wanted to increase my compensation, I had to increase my contribution and my value. And I've never, ever lost sight of that. And, you know, I was pulling up some books behind me the other day, and I pulled up The Go-Giver. And Bob Berg says your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. And one of my favorite authors, Ralph Waldo Emerson, says, each person is compensated in like manner for that which he or she contributes. Same thing. Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, you get what you give. And so this law of compensation, it's just like a restatement of the law of sowing and reaping. First you give, then you receive. And so Bob Proctor has a very short little 6-minute message that we're going to watch right now. It's about increasing your compensation. Now, just guys know, side note, you know, this is not an endorsement for you to sign up for Bob Proctor University. He does give himself, you know, quite a plug here in this short 6-minute message. But I got to tell you, some of the takeaways here are so profound. So let's see what Bob has to say about compensation.
Welcome back to 6 Minutes. It's Bob Proctor, and the idea today is about compensation. Think about it. What do you mean compensation? That's the good stuff that comes into our life and is based on the good stuff that goes out of our life. You want to improve your income? Do you know that there isn't a school anywhere in the world that I know of that teaches you how to earn more money? The Proctor Gallagher Institute see that as one of the most important subjects you'll ever study. Perhaps why we attracted Sandra Gallagher in and has become a partner. This woman has finances so deeply sunk in her head, she understands money better than anybody I've ever come across. And she's going to help me, and she's going to help you, and she's going to help millions of people now because she and I work together in the Institute. Compensation. Do you know that compensation, like everything else in this universe, is governed by law? Do you know that winter never follows winter? Do you know when the tide goes out, it always comes in? Now think about this for a moment. It's the law. Well, there's a law of compensation, and it clearly states 3 points. Number one, the amount of money you earn is always going to be in direct ratio to number one, the need for what you do. Number two, your ability to do it. And number three, the difficulty there will be in replacing you. Now think about those 3 steps. It's based on the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. See, you know that if a person's very, very difficult to replace, you know that their stock is going to be fairly high. Now, I remember, before I ever started to study this, I remember getting fired from 2 jobs. I got fired from a lot of jobs, but I got fired from 2 where it only lasted for an hour. And one of those, they never even hired anybody to take my place. So you knew what I was worth. And that's about what I was getting, not much. Now today, I earn a lot of money, but I'm fairly difficult to replace. Why? Because I've got so much information on this and I've learned how to communicate it effectively. Now it's the same person. I have just studied and I've learned how to communicate. I've learned how to take control of my life, and I've learned how to share it with other people, and that's what life's all about. So take a look at what you're doing. Yes, there's a tremendous need for what you do. I don't know anywhere in the world where I can go where they don't need what I do. I go to Buenos Aires, I go to Kosovo, I go to Shanghai, I'm going to Taiwan next month. I go all over North America, all over Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Everywhere I go, people really want what I've got, and they need what I've got. We're always inviting people. You may want to join us. We're always looking for people to help us learn how to teach this. So it's the need for what you do, then it's your ability to do it. And if you will focus on that area, number 3 takes care of itself. So you see, out of the 3 steps, you only have to be focused on one. Your ability to do what you do. You want to make your mind up. You want to study. You want to prepare yourself. You want to improve your habits. You want to become more effective at what you do. Look into it further. See it more clearly. Learn how to communicate it more effectively. And I guarantee you, your stock will just keep going up and up and up and up and up. All the money in the world is available to you. There's only one catch. You have to earn it. Oh, you could inherit it. You might win it. Somebody asked me, don't you wish you could win a lottery? No, I don't. I want to earn it. Because, see, the fun isn't in having it. The fun's in earning it. It's how you spend your days. Keep getting better at what you do, and you will find you'll be very difficult to replace. It doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you more valuable. And so you can enjoy more of the nice things in life. And I guarantee you get this law down pat. The need for what you do, your ability to do it, the difficulty will be in replacing you. You only have to focus on number 2, your ability to do it. Get better at it. And as you get better, you're going to be getting results that stick. This is Bob Proctor, and thank you.
I love that message. I see Jamie Cantrell's head going up and down. I love that message. Okay, question to everybody. Is there a need for what we do? I mean, look at the state of health in this country. Okay, look at how frustrated people are because of financial stress in this country. So there's a huge need for what we do. So basically what Bob is saying is that we have to increase our ability to convey the messages. So, you know, when I kind of look at this, what I came to realize is that the income that we earn today, the income that I'm earning today, okay, it's compensation for what I've done in the past. All right. So if I want to increase my compensation, I have to increase the value of my contribution. Okay, so that means that I'd be constantly improving my skills. Does that make sense? And so, you know, we could break off here and we could talk about, you know, we've talked about some of the skills in the past, and we're going to continue to train about that in the future. And, you know, we could train about the skill of prospecting, invitation, building for events, following up, closing the sale, getting people off to a good start. But I thought that tonight we could take a look at really what is the foundation of your business. And you know what the foundation of your business is? And this will absolutely increase your compensation. It's your story. I'm seeing too many people go out the door with a really, really weak story. Okay, and that's going to make the job of creating compensation very, very hard. So everybody has a story. Okay, if you were at conference 2 years ago in Indianapolis, man, we knocked it out of the park with stories. So it's the basis for your business, and your story is your advertisement. Your story is your #1 advertisement. Okay, so think back to when you started on Juice Plus. Think back to when you said yes to this business. You started on the product and you said yes to the business. Why? Because of somebody's story. Okay, it made sense to you. Why did it make sense to you? Because you identified with their experience. Okay, so stories need to be experiential. Okay, and how do you create an experiential story, my friends? It's when you become vulnerable and your story is packed with emotion. Okay, Brene Brown trains on this. Many of us took courses with her. Okay, so our stories need to have emotion so that's what people will remember. People will never remember what you said, but people always remember how you made them feel. Now, if your story is just facts, there's no experiential going on there. So it's the emotions that you share that people connect with. Okay, so I created a little graph for you here. This is Terri Technology 101. Can you see that? Oh no. All right, well, this is a little graph. So story is at the top. What?
Back a little bit. It's too close. That's better.
Okay, your story's in 3 parts. The past, your past. Your past is about your pain, your wants, your needs, your desires. The present, that's when the gratitude comes into play. And the future part of your story is where the excitement, joy, expectation comes in. Okay, so we're not talking, you're introducing fact, but it's coded with vulnerability and emotion. So can I give you some examples? Would you be open to some examples? Because I'm hearing this as I'm out living Juice Plus life, and I just threw a couple scenarios down. Okay, so here's a typical story that I'm hearing. 8 years ago, I was 30 pounds overweight and my cholesterol was out of control. And a friend introduced me to Juice Plus. Any emotion there? That's all facts. That's all facts. A story that's vulnerable that people will connect with could work something like this. 8 years ago, I was frustrated and I was starting to feel guilty. I was 30 pounds overweight and my cholesterol was out of control. I didn't like the way I looked, but worse than that, I didn't like the way I was feeling. I was becoming worried about my health. What was it going to be 5 years down the road? And I was searching. I was searching for a solution, and a friend introduced me to Juice Plus. It's the same thing, but I incorporated the pain. So some of the words that I used with emotion were frustration, guilty, didn't like the way I was looking, didn't like the way I was feeling, concerned, anxious about my future health. So guys, even though the person you're sharing your story with might not have a cholesterol issue, what they will connect with is your pain and your frustration and your anxiety. Does that make sense? Here's another example, and I hear this all the time. 8 years ago, my kids were always sick. They had every cold and flu, and they had allergies, and we lived at the doctor's office. Those are facts. Now, if you're the mom sharing this, I'm going to bet you that underneath those facts, 8 years ago, I was a frustrated, exhausted mom. My kids were sick all the time. They caught every cold, every flu, they had allergies, and we lived at the doctor's office. And I was starting to blame myself. And I was so confused about the information that was out there about health. It was overwhelming. And then a friend introduced me to Juice Plus. Wow. Can you see the difference? Can you feel the difference? And I am seeing way too many stories that are all about fact and nothing about the emotional revenue. Because let's face it, what mom out there doesn't start to feel guilty when her kids are sick all the time? What mom isn't feeling overwhelmed all the time? And if you are honest enough to reveal that, most moms are going to plug right in and absolutely get your story and see the value because it's so experiential. How many of you, show of hands, were in Indianapolis 2 years ago when Jamie Cantrell stood on that stage and shared her story? Jamie, I mean, I was off in the wings and you talked about you didn't recognize yourself in the mirror anymore. I'll never forget that. I've got goosebumps right now. That you were seeking and looking, who am I? You had lost your identity. And 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people felt what you were saying. They felt what you were saying. So that's the past. Now the present, that's when the gratitude comes into your story. You know, today I'm just so grateful. I have peace of mind. I can't believe the difference in our health compared to what we were 8 years ago. There's that gratitude is a word that evokes emotion with people. So I started sharing Juice Plus with my friends and family and that I knew, because what I found was that people today are all seeking and searching for better health, for financial peace, for community. And I'm so happy that I have found my passion and purpose. Happy, oh my gosh, emotion. And here's the future story, because of Juice Plus. Today I'm excited and hopeful for my future, because today I'm making the car payment and tomorrow I'll be making the mortgage payment. So I want you, would you just take time to revisit your stories, past, present, future, all right? And know, guys, that, I'm just a Voxer away. If you ever want to run a story by me, I love helping people create an experiential story, okay? So when it comes to compensation, Bob Proctor was so brilliant. It's your ability to convey what it is that you represent. And when you get that your story is it's the launch. It's how we launch. It's where we go. Everything goes back to your story. Doesn't that just make sense? So where does the joy and the fulfillment come from? Not necessarily from the compensation. The joy and the fulfillment come from the contribution and who you become in the process. So Brene Brown has a list of her core emotions. This will be posted on the Team Up page so that if you want to refer back to emotions that you can incorporate in your story, but guys, your story, but also these new young reps that are coming up so that we can equip them to go out the door. Does that make sense? Okay, so no team call next week. It's conference week, so I won't be broadcasting. We'll be back after the conference. Know that registration is growing and growing and growing for our celebration. On Friday for the $2,000 cash giveaway. I'm so excited about that. Also know that one of the incentives is very much still in play. Anybody that accomplishes a 5-1, okay, starting from the 1st of October all the way through the 14th, your name will go into the raffle 10 extra times, okay? I'm excited about that. And also tonight, if you want to take a look and a feel at what another skill set might be is we've been invited to listen to Abby Nolan, is going to be training on the Team Chris call. She's going to be talking about how social media, you know, pretty much gets her on the awards bulletin every single month. Abby or Jamie, what's our number that we can zoom in on for your call?
I'll type it in the chat button. Or
Okay, I know it's a 214. All right. So, anybody have any questions about your stories? I hope my intention tonight is that this brought value to you so that I will increase my contribution. And at the end of the day, it will elevate my compensation. I love you guys. Peace and blessings. See you soon.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.